Hi, and welcome to Teaching with Technology from Tech Edge. And I'm Guy Trainin. I'm a professor at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
I'm Crystal Liu. I'm the World Language Specialist at Nebraska Department of Education.
And today we're talking about Flippity. Flippity, it's fun to say, I'll be honest. And it is a great website that has a lot of applications that you can use. They've got lots of games and ways to really engage learners. And you can see right now, I've got it on my iPad, I've got it also on my computer. You can get it in both locations. You just go to flippity.net and you will be able to find it. So the first thing we're going to look at is
Quiz Show.
All right. Quiz Show is like everybody's favorite quiz show that we cannot use the name of because it is copyrighted. But when you see it, you will know what we're talking about. So can you show me what I need to do to get a quiz show going?
Yeah. There is a, do you want to make one? Mm-hmm. So you can go to instructions and there is a template.
So I'm switching to the template and the template.
Make a copy. So
make a copy, thank you. And you can see that that works in Google Sheets. So you do have to have access to Google to work from that. And that is the one thing that you have to think about. Access to Google is necessary to make it work from
Yeah, these are the questions you can edit. You can clean the whole cell and add your questions.
Mm-hmm. So let's, this is the final quiz show, not Jeopardy, quiz show. And you can see the questions. There's question and answer, Q&A, and there are the values, 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. And so you can use those, or you can just go in and edit like you would edit anything else. Right?
Yeah.
And so you can plug in, and in world language, we really want to use the target language as much as possible for questions and answer. Sometimes we can alternate and use one language and then the answer be in another language, in the target language. So there are ways to consider what level of users we have. And then if I want to share it with students, where do I go?
Just in the template, there is a tab says,
So I will go back to my template, yes.
On the top, it says get the link here.
Oh, here's the link. Yes. So I can just send my students the link, or we
can play in class, like a Jeopardy game or something like that.
All right. It's not Jeopardy. It's quiz show.
Quiz show, yes.
We have to say that. So we can go from there. All right.
Yeah,
and this is what it looks like there, and we're ready to play. And I will have world capitals for 100. What capital city opened the first subway in 1863?
Is it Great Britain or
You think it's London? I think it's Paris.
Oh, okay.
Where do I write the answer? Oh, the students need to write the answer, right?
Yes.
All right. So the students need to write the answer. London, England, you got the point. I did not. All right. You can see how that works and how you can really create a rich experience for students, especially if there's a day where you want to do some kind of a review, or you're feeling that students are less engaged and you want to kind of create that excitement. That's a way to use that. All right. What else can we do with this?
We can also do manipulatives.
All right.
If we go back to the Flippity website, we can find manipulatives.
I will look for, you see, flashcards, virtual breakout. I mean, there's a lot that you can look at, but we are going to look at creating. And you can see, you can actually do it in real time. You can create the words. Right now, it's got all kinds of kids' names, but that's not one way or the other. And then you can give it a different name. So you can say, this is, and I'm going to use...
Live sentence or living sentence or whatever.
Yes, and so I'm going to say, I'm on purpose using target language, And so you can see that we can generate that game and creates it in real time. So you can prepare this in advance with a template, but you can also create things in real time. And what I love about that is you can create it as the teacher, but you can actually have groups of kids going on the website without having to log in and creating their own games and then challenging their classmates to play. And then you can organize things. So this is just like playing with magnets, and the advantage here,
as you have hands-on activities on the spot, so students can actually talk to each other, figure out and making sentences, and also they can do you can assign like characterizing or grouping or things like that, because it also allows us to put background with their manipulatives. For example, we can put like Venn diagrams, we can put T-chart and things like that.
And the other thing is, which we love the magnets for, is it allows us to create in the target language, not just words, because when we think about flashcards and we think about the quiz show and all of that, it's more about vocabulary. Here, we can do whole sentences. So you can reorganize to do sentences, and you've created one in Chinese, and so I'm going to scan. So if you can make a QR code for me so I can log in, and I'm going to use, in this case, my iPad, and you can immediately see that now I've gotten all of the words and translated. That's interesting. It immediately translated with Google Translate because I've got Google Translate embedded there. So that was very interesting. I kind of enjoy that. And now you can start categorizing the different animals.
Dog and
And so you can see how easily you can manipulate, and they've created this Venn diagram. It doesn't have to be a Venn diagram, right? It can just be anything else, but it's very easy to manipulate. And it is also easy to manipulate on a laptop or on a Google Chromebook, but I actually love the way you can use it on mobile devices, and the website itself is optimized for using mobile devices. So if you do have the opportunity to use mobile devices in a classroom, especially with somewhat younger kids where the touch technology works a lot better, that's really good as well. All right, what's next?
Okay, the next one I want to say, we want to check bingo because it's a lot of work for teachers to prepare bingo, because we need to create the sheets, bingo sheets, and then once we finish one round, we will have new bingo sheets. That's a lot of paper. But with this website, we can create one bingo. And then we play with kids. We set the bingo. When we start to play, we send the sheets to kids. When we finish one round, you just click, a new set of sheets will be sent to kids. So we save a lot of paper.
Yes, and you can do that still with printing. So you can send your bingo to print.
Yes.
But you can also keep it digital, which is what we'd like you to do, because we'd like less paper being wasted. And if you've got enough devices in the classroom, that's a much more effective way to do things. Because the one thing about bingo is once you're done, you have to throw it out. You can't really reuse bingo unless you're using with counters. I guess you can do it with plastic counters, but less helpful. So again, I'm going to create very quickly. I like the quick create. You can create this idea of using the template, but you can also do a quick create, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to use Hebrew because it's the language the world language that I know well. And these are pronouns, for example, and then we can do some verbs and some family members, let's say.
Or some animals.
Yeah, maybe some animals. So you can create those. Let's try a few more. And this is not enough because you need 24 terms to make a minimum of 24 terms for a bingo. Obviously, it's better if there's a little bit more because it creates a variety. And then it randomizes. So you can see, I can give it a name. So I can call it, let me do this. I said, guys bingo. No, autocorrect. That's funny. It did not like the word bingo because it's not really a Hebrew word. And now you can see the list of terms, so you can actually select, erase, and mix them up. And then you can see that you can actually print, and you can say, how many random boards do I want here? And do I want to have free space or not? So I don't know what happens if I say no, but we will see in a second. And I can also just broadcast this immediately to my students. I can use Google Classroom. You can see that there's a button for that, but there's also a QR code. Everybody can scan the QR code and boom, they're in the game, they're playing their thing, and now you can see what it looks like. Right, and there's free space here because I didn't create 24 terms, but you can see how effective it is, and this is great for some vocabulary practice,
yes.
Right? And again, a moment that we want to motivate our kids. So, in closing, what are the most important things that you want teachers to remember about Flippity?
Flippity is easy to use. There are different actually more than 20 templates you can use to create different activities on the go because every template is provided. So we just need to add in our own content or questions or whatever you want to do with students and then share it with students. And then they have hands-on activities or to have like a game, like quiz show, the interactive game for the whole class to participate. So this is a really I have to say, really useful website when we want to motivate students on a not very exciting day.
Yes, sometimes maybe a snow day and it's the third snow day in a row or something like that. You can do that. You can also assign it outside the classroom, and that's important to think about. What do we do when kids are, maybe they do have a snow day and they're home and we want them to do an activity, but we want it to be fun. We can still do that because it can happen in real time, but it doesn't have to happen in real time. And my personal favorite is, can you ask your students to create these? So they have to generate the knowledge, focus on the words, and then challenge their friends. And I think that's a really good use. It also means that you don't have to sit until late at night preparing it the night before. You can just bring the website up, make sure all of your students are there, put them in groups, and challenge them to create the most exciting game that they can for their peers based on what they've learned.
Yeah, I really like the random name picker it provided. I just paste my whole list of students in there, and it gives me options like put students in pairs, in groups of 3, 4, 5, like that. You just group them, and the names will be posted on the screen. So students just, go to their groups and start to work.
All right, so today we talked about Flippity, and we'll see you next time on Teaching World Language with Technology.
Thank you.
On TechEdge.